Just in case they ain't get the picture the first time around.
Drinking my morning coffee. Shout out to Fairway for this coffee mug. Trying to get a little inspiration, motivation, looking at a few YouTube videos before I go ahead and finish this fiberglass. Trying to catch up on these comments also. I've been sitting here checking Steve out. He's swapping a two-door Landau in 2 days. This is his second video here. I've been sitting here getting a little inspiration from him. Alright, let me go on right here and try to finish this fiberglass up. Looks like it's fiberglass time. As you can see, I got some door panels here. They for a two-door Box Chevy. I think it's a 79 or 77, 78. One of them years there. But you can see he had some tweeters here, 2 tweeters and 2 6.5s right here. He had them recessed in the door. He wanted me to just make a fiberglass pod for the 2 6.5 and the 2 tweeters. Got them over here. I just got one of each, just for fitment. They massive. Just the tweeter. And the tweeter up in there, and the 6.5s here. Trying to come up with a design now. My first step is I'm gonna make a platform right here so I can have something to go off of. I'm gonna cut it out that OSB there, which it don't matter because once I fiberglass it, I'm gonna cut the back side of it out anyway. But I'm gonna use some cardboard to come up with the design first. Once I come up with the design, I'm gonna cut it out. OSB. Let me try to come up with something, then I'll cut it back on. Okay, I done came up with a platform, as you can see. I just went off this piece here because I'm gonna have this piece sitting on top of it. I'm gonna have the 6.5s off to the side. But I just took a straight edge piece of wood, made that line now, and this line. Then I made this line. I took this piece of tape, not piece of tape, but roll of tape. Made my little round over there. That's all I did. I just grabbed stuff around the shop because it ain't got to be exactly perfect. Because once I fiberglass it, you ain't gonna be able to tell. I just wanted to have something to go off of. So I'm finna go ahead and cut this out with a box cutter. Then you'll see what I'm going with. When I'm gonna cut it out, this piece here is sit on top of it. So I'm gonna have to cut this down the size of this OSB. So let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my OSB out first. I'm just gonna bring this over here. Just trace it. Just cut me 2 pieces out. It's gonna be the same on both sides. So on the other side, I'm just gonna flip it over. That'll be for that door. Alright, you can see my base cut out, my platform. And this here is going to sit right on top of, at the edge of it. But I'm going to have to cut that out, like I said, in order for it to sit down flush with it. So let me go ahead and measure this up and cut it out. See, I got to draw it out. I just used a Sharpie. This here is just going to come straight down, across, back down here. So it'll sit down flush. Alright, now you see it's sitting flush now. Now I could put a staple or a screw right here to attach it, to hold it in place until it get fiberglass. Put one there. Now I got to do the same way with this side over here. Same process. And on the next one, what you want to do, you want to flip this over because it's going to be opposite of this one. I think I can put it right here. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and trace this inside out, kind of outline it. Then I'll be ready to do the routing in the morning. I'm really doing it upside down. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it. This is the driver door. Guess I'll mark it right here. It's gonna have to be kind of sunk. This is the passenger. Kind of sunk. Finished up on the outer circle cuts. Now what I'm finna do, I'm finna go back and cut the inner circle all the way through. I done went on to cut it all the way through now on all four of them. Shout out to Steve Davis again for blessing me with that Jasper jig. You get a lot better circles with that than trying to do it with a jigsaw. Now I'm finna go ahead and do these tweeters. I'm finna go ahead and cut the magnets out, cut the magnet holes out. Just finna put them in place. Kind of where I had this here marked up. Then I'm just gonna draw a circle around the magnet. Cut that circle out. Got them drawn out. I'm finna go ahead and try to cut these out with the router. I can do it with the jigsaw, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out with the router. Trying to hurry up before it get dark on my hair. Got it back inside. I'm finna go ahead and cut this on out, cut it on through where I didn't cut with the router. Let me go ahead and cut them out, then I cut you back on. Went on to cut these pieces here out. I also took some sandpaper and kind of knocked down these rough ends that was around here. But I'm gonna do it some more once I get the fiberglass in. But you can see they cut out. The speakers sit down up in there. Flush mount. That's the tweeter. Now what I'm finna do, I'm gonna have maybe a ½ inch lip, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Probably somewhere along here. I'm just finna freehand all this. I'm just gonna draw around the whole speaker ring. Then I'll come back up like that. I'm just gonna draw around the whole outer of the speaker ring about 1.5 inches. Well, not 1.5 inches, but a ½ inch, maybe 3/4. Let me go ahead and take care of that. I'll cut you back on. Now you can see I done outlined my speaker ring. I did 3/4 of an inch from the outside of the speaker. support this here. And what I did, I just drew, I think I got 10, 5 for each one of them. I might not use all of them, but I'm gonna use my circular saw and just cut these out here. Now I'm finna take my hot glue gun. I'm just gonna glue them up like this here. And I probably put one on each side. Alright, once it's dry, see that hot glue strong. And this is not for support. It's just to hold everything in place until you fiberglass it. Once you fiberglass it, you can take these out if you want to. But once it's dry, you want to turn it over and just line it up where you want it. And once you line it up, go ahead and make your mark down here by the legs, so you'll know where to put the hot glue. Once you make all your marks, just pull it back up and go on and put your hot glue on your base. Then set it back in place. Alright, I got it attached. Let me show you something. See, that's just the hot glue. But this over here, it's not really attached to nothing but this part here. So I had hot glued a piece of wood onto this plastic here. I'll probably go back and put a staple or two right here. Then I cut some angles, and I'm just gonna slide this up in here and hot glue it down so it'll be kind of sturdy, so I can put that fleece on and won't fall apart on me. It's time to move on to the fleece now. I got some Loctite and some fabric. This here is Polytechno. It's 4-way stretch fabric, but you don't have to use this. I just had some of this left over from another job that I did. But here's the panel. I'm finna cut me 2 pieces the size of both panels. Then I'll get ready to cut you back on. Once you got your piece cut the size, you want to kind of even it out. Make sure you got enough on all ends. Then you just throw it back on one end and start in the middle. Kind of spray this flat part and somewhere along there. Then once you get that laid down, you can do the opposite side. Alright, it's time to move on to the next step. We got to use the stapler once again. I got the fleece down. I just wrap it over, overlap the back side of it for now. And this part here, once I resin it up, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, but I'm going to wait till I resin it up first. But what we finna do now, we finna go ahead and staple. Like up in here. See how it's lifting up right there? And once you resin it, if you don't staple it, it'll go and lift up all the way through. So I'm gonna kind of cut it off right here. Plus I'm gonna staple all the way around where I put that little groove in. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna staple all the way around this part here. finished putting down the staples right here. This plastic, it was cracking when I was trying to shoot staples in this. This where the little screw hole at. It's two of them, one right here, one right here. I just tried to staple around it, but the plastic was cracking. So it won't lift up like over here. You can see where it didn't go through that. Because if you don't staple that, this part right here will lift up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put some resin right here. Then I'm gonna put some, I clamp something down right here, but I make sure I got some aluminum foil or something on it so the resin won't stick to it. But I think everything else was okay besides that spot there. I'm gonna go and do the resin. This is the resin I'm gonna use, Bundle fiberglass resin. I already poured some up in the cup. I got my chip brushes, no hardener. These are the size staples I've used, 1/4 inch. Let me go ahead and mix some of this resin up. It's dried up now, the first coat of resin. I can go ahead and remove this now since it's hard. See how that resin don't stick to this wax paper. It don't stick to aluminum foil too. And you see how it kept the shape. Now I can go ahead and cut these holes out before I put some more resin or fiberglass mat on it, because it's gonna get harder and harder to cut out. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. Something else I need to cut out. Forgot what it was. I know these two holes here. I don't know. But let me go ahead and cut these out. Got it all fiberglassed up. It's still wet now. I'm about to go ahead and cut my openings out where my speakers and my handle go. Because if you keep on putting the fiberglass mat on here, it's just gonna make it even harder and harder to cut out. So I try to go on and cut it out early. As you can see, I went on and cut everything out. I also been trying to clean this up because it looked like they tried to paint it and this plastic real brittle, and they just painted over the brittleness. So I'm trying to knock all that loose plastic where it was brittle at. I'm trying to knock all that down and get all that paint off, because I don't want to paint on top of that because my paint won't stick then. But I'm gonna have to fix a lot of this up in here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna have to smooth all that down. I'm also gonna have to put some fiberglass filler around here so make my transition smoother. Plus all the way up around the speaker rings. But I'm finna go ahead and knock all this down a little bit more. I'm just gonna use 80 grit sandpaper on the DA. I don't know what I did with my DA. Somewhere around here. But I'm gonna put some 80 grit on it. Then I'm gonna come back and try to transition these ends off. I put the filler down. I also put some fiberglass filler right here because this piece here was cracked. This plastic little piece it was cracked, so I put some fiberglass filler to strengthen it on up. I just used this bundle glass. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry. I think I'm gonna let it dry overnight because I'm gonna take it on in. Then once it dry, I'm gonna come back and hit it with the sander, the DA sander, 80 grit sandpaper. Knocked everything down with the DA. As you can see, the DA, it'll square your edges off, so you're gonna have to go back with your hand. I'm gonna go back with my hand with some 80 grit, and I'm gonna round everything off. Then I also gotta clean this out up in here. I started sanding this, but I'm gonna do it a little bit more because it ain't perfect. Plus right here, I'm gonna have to bring this down some more. I couldn't get it with the DA. I'm gonna have to do it by hand. But the DA is mainly just to knock it down so you won't have that much hand sanding. Now I'm finna start hand sanding and getting it smooth enough to paint. Let me go ahead and do this with the 80 grit, then I'll cut you back on. Well, I think I got everything sanded down, just enough to prime it. First round of primer. As you can see, I cleaned up the hole openings. I had to go back and put some fiberglass filler up in there to kind of shape it on up. Also cleaned up around here. I cut out my fabric that was here, also on the back side. Gonna go ahead and blow them off, then I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the primer on it. It's the following morning. Now you can see all the imperfections once the primer on it. This camera might not focus because it don't be want to focus right with this primer. You can see all up in there. I gotta put some glaze and put it up in there. Gotta sand this part here down some. Imperfection. There's a lot of little pinholes here now. Then you can see the sand scratches from the 80 grit. Like here, pinhole. Little imperfections here and there. Gotta get that smooth. But I'm finna go ahead and fill these pinholes up. These little imperfections. Go ahead and spray it for you. It's already smooth. I could have went straight to base, but I want to smooth it in this here. But I'm finna put a guide coat on it right now. I'm just gonna use flat black spray paint, 99 cents. I got a dry guide coat, but I prefer to use the spray paint. The guide coat, it's gonna help you find all your low areas. It also lets you know what need to be sanded. And that's what I'm really putting on here for. Let me know what I need to sand and what I already done sanded. Let me go ahead and spray that. Then we'll be ready to wet sand. I'm a wet sand with, I think, 400 grit. 400 to 500. This guide coat, you just want to lightly mist it on. You don't need to be trying to go heavy. It'll be more you got to get off. We'll be ready to wet sand in just a few. I'm gonna let it dry up a little bit. I'm ready to go ahead and start wet sanding now. I got a rigid block here. It's a Dura block. Also got some 400 grit sandpaper. Then I got some soap and water in a bucket. I'm just gonna let my sandpaper sit and soak in this bucket for a minute or two. Then I start blocking it. On the areas here, I'm gonna have to just use just the sandpaper.
I want some more stuff. Get back and watch my whole crew blow up. So get yours and buy. Get your money, man.
Let me show you. When you wet sanding, you want to keep your rag. Just wipe this little area here. This the area I just sanded. I'm gonna show you what you need to look for. I don't know if this camera gonna focus on it. But you can see right here where the guide coat's still right here. I got this completely. This here good. But you still can see some guide coat in this area here and right here. Them low spots, so you got to bring that guide coat down where you don't see nothing but the gray primer. That's a little imperfection there. I got the parts ready to be painted now. Everything sanded down. I had to go back and touch up a few spots. But I don't think I mentioned what color I was going with. It's going a Chameleon. It's going to be orange to red to gold to green flip. But first we got to lay the base coat. The base coat going to be a black base coat. I'm going to go ahead and wipe everything down, wax and grease remover, blow it off. Then I'll be ready to shoot the base. This 3 coats of the jet black. Lay it down pretty good. I got the Chameleon over here. Got it mixed up. go ahead and lay the clear now.
We never stop. Right from the bottom to the top, from